Well, it's interesting to be a travel writer talking about politics. And what's the deal? Why would a travel writer even have anything to say about politics? Well, it's occurred to me since about 912 that the role of a travel writer needs to be like the court jester in the Middle Ages. You know, in the Middle Ages, the kings were ruling, and the court jester would go out there and goof around in the puddle and the gutter with everybody, and he was welcome to come back into the court and tell the king the truth. And the king didn't kill him. The king needed to know that. And it feels today that a lot of people can't come home and say what they learn outside of our country. And as a travel writer, I feel like that's my challenge, and I just feel like it's the role of an honest travel writer in this day and age. Now, why do I even care? Well, you know, when you travel, if you're halfway awake, it's a broadening experience. My most valuable, poignant travel experience, I think, happened on my very first trip. I was a 14-year-old in Oslo with my parents, visiting relatives in Norway. And we were behind the palace in that Frogner Park. And I remember it like it was yesterday. That park is a vast park filled with all of these great concrete and statues. And it took me a little while to get over the concrete nudity. And then I was able to realize that my parents were just loving me so much. And I remember looking out on that park, and I can see it like it's yesterday, just speckled like a Monet painting with all these other parents loving their kids. And it occurred to me in that 14-year-old mentality, wow, those parents love their kids as much as my parents love me. And it just hit me, this world is home to billions of equally lovable children of God. I mean, it was a mind blower. And I've been thinking about that ever since in my travels. When I see a God Bless America sticker, I just think, as opposed to what? You know, it's just because I've been over there and I saw these Norwegian kids loved by their parents. I've spent a third of my adult life living out of a suitcase, a 9 by 22 by 14-inch suitcase, overseas. A third of my adult life, talking to people who see things different than me. And it makes me a little bit of an odd duck. So when I come home, I've got one foot here and one foot there a little bit. It's an interesting position to be in. And lately, I look out and I see there's a lot of wisdom overseas that we don't take advantage of. I see my country more isolated than ever. I see a lot of fear in our society. I can't believe all the fear. 75 years ago this month, Franklin Delano Roosevelt tried to teach us we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And now we're even using fear against us for people's interest. And I found in my travels that the flip side of fear is understanding. Why am I not afraid of something when somebody else is? Because I've traveled, and I understand that it's really not worth being afraid of. Maybe I'm just being duped, maybe I'm naive, but I believe that you can undo fear by better understanding. When you travel, you understand this wide gap between the rich and the poor on this planet, and it's not always comfortable for us to deal with it honestly. But I'm tired of embracing lies. I want to deal with it. It's not a guilt trip, it's just a reality. There's a huge gap. Our country is so crazed about national security. And I really believe if you're concerned about national security, you've got to start thinking out of the box here. Because ironically, we're doing everything wrong for national security with a passion. And I find there are powerful people in our society that would find it convenient if we were all just dumbed down. And I don't want to be dumbed down. If they say go shopping, I say no. Why do you want me to go shopping? You see? So we need to expect each other to be smarted up. Now, it's a little awkward for me to call a gathering like this and tell you what it's like, because I honestly don't think I have answers. I just really care, and I believe you care, and I think we believe we can do better. And I'm lucky, the advantage I have is I've traveled a lot and I've been challenged, and that's what I want to talk about today. Because travel has shaped my worldview, and when I come home, I find myself really a citizen of the planet as well as a citizen of this country. That is making travel a political act. So today I just want to talk about how that happened and why I think it's important.